Good afternoon, Durham. Welcome to another episode of Durham Unplugged, a chance to speak to your local representatives in a more casual and relaxed setting. I'm your host, Sterling Lee, and today with me, we got him, folks. It took me, I'm going to say, 5 weeks and many messages exchanged, but we got him, the living legend himself, local celebrity, our Ward 1 local councillor, Rob Tyler Morin. Robbie, how are you doing, buddy?
Hey, good. Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
What
And
what what took you so
thanks
long
for
to get
having
on
me.
this, huh?
Well, I'm a fan of the show because I've watched
Long time
pretty
listener,
much all
first
of
time
them.
caller.
I am a long-time listener, first-time caller. And I saw Tito, who had a bit of a hard time technically and definitely needs a barber. That guy, he should be front of the
Oh,
line.
I know it is intense. His
Yeah,
bush, his
yeah.
bushy
I
hair there.
saw, yeah, I saw Mayor Collier. So the first few I saw, I just thought the format for me was a bit long. And then I kept watching thinking, yeah, this is too long. And then I would be like 25 minutes in. So then I said, I should do it. I want
So in
to
other
do it.
words, you are
So
saying
then,
that you
yeah.
did not think I could carry a conversation for half an hour. That's hurtful.
No, 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 no. I'm just saying I didn't know if people wanted to hear me talk for half an hour about different things. But I was engaged in all of them. And it's funny how people's personalities kind of come out, and more so than what we see when we're a little bit more measured, when we're in council.
And that's
Yeah,
what this
so it's
was. I
good.
didn't. I didn't. I wanted. One of the biggest. One of the most striking things I get as a politician is when people say to me, "Oh, hey, you're actually pretty funny." And like I pride myself on my sense of humor. Like if nothing else, I want people to get away and be like, "Oh, that guy like
Yes,
is a funny guy." And so
yes,
I kind of realized that our jobs don't really give us a chance to really outwardly show who we
that's
are as
true.
individuals.
Yeah,
It's very easy to say, "Oh, you're Councillor Lee and you're a politician," and people have very negative connotations with what a politician means. So I wanted some way to get a chance
can
to
be.
know people, and also like to get to know people myself. There are many people in regional council I still really don't know that well, so this is a really cool way to get to know them in a recorded way.
Yes, and yes, and watching, I would hear things that I didn't know that people said, and I was going, "Oh, I didn't know that." Like, yes, so I agree with the humor thing. You and I think are naturally pretty funny, and I tend to try and bottle it, like
Right?
I'm a little bit guarded and not being funny every time. Where you drop it in every 6 or 7 times, but at the other job, my other job, trying to be funny all the time. But yeah,
So let's talk about that. You are a member of the award-winning band Two for the Show.
yes, yes, I am. Yes,
And
we've
how
been
long?
in the area in
How
the
is
area for a
how
long
how
time.
has it been?
It's a lifetime. I got to give it to you really quickly. It's a lifetime of work, and it's a lifelong passion and little business we have. And we've been in the Durham area for over 30 years, and just doing events, doing the local pub, and doing weddings, and doing fundraisers, performing, and doing a lot of hosting duties and that kind of thing. So there's a skill set there that's transferable.
Sure.
A little bit. It's not at all, like, as with some of your past uh, activities. So yeah, it's been like I said, a lifetime of work.
Now, did you get your love of music from your parents, or just like all of a sudden, like, what do you think inspired?
Right.
Who do you think was there a band or a musician that inspired you to be a musician?
Okay, so I'll give you some background. My dad worked at the Royal York Hotel in Toronto for just shy of 50 years. And when I was a kid, 16, 17 years old, I got a job as a busboy in the Imperial Dining Room. And I was already passionate about music. I was already playing drums. My dad had, we used to call him Sam the Record Man. It was an old reference. He had so many albums in the basement, and comedy records and big band and swing and rock and roll and a lot of country. And there was just a huge amount of music and diversified. So anyways, I got a job as a busboy in the Imperial Dining Room. And they had acts in there. They had Tony Bennett, they had Peter Allen, Don Ho, and all these different sort of quirky acts, and Peggy Lee, like just legends. Burton Cummings, Tina Turner. And I would, like, as a busboy or as a server, you had to leave the dining room when the show started. And I would stay behind the post and I would watch every minute of every show of all those
Right.
big stars. And then I was doing the writers, meaning their food and prep and all that for the dressing rooms. And I noticed that when the bands went on, if it was 9 o'clock, 8:59, they were doing the count-in. I learned so much being there. It was literally like being, a college university course on live entertainment. and how it was executed. And I remember talking to the lighting and the sound guys. So I was just being pushed that way.
Right.
So it wasn't a stretch for me to get into it.
Now, what is the most like for a rider? A rider is a contract that musicians have to ensure that their room or whatever is done a certain way. Without giving the musician, because you probably can't, what is the most unique rider clause that you've seen? Because you've heard the rumors of like some musicians put like, I only want 23 red M&Ms, and it's just to see if you're paying attention to the rider, right? So in your experience,
but there's a reason for that,
right?
There was a reason for that behind the red M&Ms. Do you know what it was?
Well, no, I think it's because they want to see if you actually followed the rider or not, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So they would put it in like halfway down that there's no red M&Ms, and it'd be red M&Ms in the bowl, and they would say, "Ha, you didn't read number 57." Right. So when I was there, there would be not too bad, like Bavarian nuts. Bavarian nuts was hard. Yeah.
What is I don't think I've had Bavarian nuts. What is a Bavarian nut?
Me neither. I was in the kitchen of the Royal York Hotel, and we're talking from York Street to Bay Street is that kitchen. It's massive. It's 1,600 feet long or something. And I would ask the chef, big, mean, these chefs were so, huge. And I would just say, do we have Bavarian nuts? They'd snap his knife on the steel shelf, say, it's over there. Like, oh man. So I learned a lot of life lessons in those days.
And you didn't sneak a Bavarian nut just to be like, oh, that's what a Bavarian nut is?
No.
Okay.
No.
You're an honest man. You're an honest man.
Yes. No, I never snuck the Bavarian nuts, but I did get a signed 8x10 that I still have that I wish I could show you by Suzanne Summers.
Oh, great.
From Three's Company. Yeah. These are very old references, but
I get them all. I have a very old soul, Robbie, which you know.
Good.
Now, who do you think is I like that we have a musician on. We can actually talk a bit of music. Who is your favorite live musician? So who is like, as a performer yourself, who do you go to see whenever they're in town?
Oh, I don't see. It's very hard to watch a parade if you're in it. Right. That's been our little, it's very difficult. So I don't see a lot of acts. I remember taking the girls, my oldest daughters, Courtney and Jessica, to see the Backstreet Boys. Stick with me on the Millennium Tour, and was just blown away. It was so well done. I remember talking to one of the sound guys as we were leaving. It was at the Cops Coliseum. And it was one of the greatest shows I ever saw as far as choreograph and sound and the crowd and 27 buses and 2 jet airplanes. And it was incredible. But I remember back in the day seeing Van Halen and Rush and all that. So I've never seen the Stones and Michael Jackson.
Do you prefer Van Halen with Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth?
A good David Lee Roth.
Right, because he's just marching around with a baton these days and waving a flag and doing very little singing.
A bit rough.
Right.
A bit rough. Yeah. So these days, no, not a lot of live. I basically have my 3 islands and my family, my business, and our community. What you and I did.
So speaking of that, this COVID-19 pandemic has obviously impacted the way we do our jobs lately. What have you been doing with your free time? What is Rob Tyler Morin? Which, by the way, actually, before we even get to that question, why is your name Rob Tyler Morin? So why do you have a hyphenated last name? Because again, people have been like, is your first name Rob, last name Tyler? Yeah. Is your first name Rob Tyler? So go on, please.
Yeah, thankfully it's been jogged along a little bit. Now when I'm referred to as Councillor Tyler Morin, it has more of a flow than it did at one point. It's hyphenated Tyler Morin because Rob Tyler is my pseudonym, stage name, if you will. And I've been using it for probably 30 years. And when we ran in the election, checked with Elections Ontario, and they said, you're definitely PKA, profession known as Tyler. So that's why the last name Morin, which I'm proud of, use that and then hyphened it Tyler Morin.
But
that's what it was. That's it. Why did we choose Tyler?
Right, correct.
Oh, it's Tyler, Tennessee. It's a town in Tennessee. We threw a dart, not quite, but my partner Alan and I, who at the time, I was it's getting pretty micro here. I was the drummer in the band.
That's what this show is. It's pure minutia, Robbie. Pure minutia.
Well, at the time I was the drummer. I was always the drummer in the band, and definitely did a lot off stage. But anyways, then I became one of the singers, the guitar players, in a new formation. So I decided, Rob Morin, I wanted something a little bit jazzier. So we came up with Rob Tyler. Yeah, which is Tyler, Tennessee, Tyler, Texas.
Your actual name on your birth certificate would be Robert Morin, presumably then, right?
Yeah, but Rob Tyler Morin now is a thing.
Oh, you got it officially changed. Your name changed.
It's a thing. Yes.
No, I'm
now,
just
now I
I'm
can,
fascinated by
yeah,
this. This is yeah.
yeah. Well, because it was even by default, because I didn't even want to, have a hyphenated last name. But now I'm used to it. So
Right.
I'm happy about that.
And do you have any middle names?
Joseph.
So why didn't you go Robert Joseph as your name?
I could have.
Right, but it didn't have that
Yeah.
pizzazz.
Yeah. Bobby Joe.
Right. Bobby Joe Morin. It sounds like a country superstar.
Yeah. Geez, I was talking to Sterling today. I'm coming up with a new name.
Yeah. You now, I mean, obviously in the background there, we see an acoustic guitar, an electric guitar,
Yes.
a drum
Some
set.
of my stuff, my pads,
Right.
my pads. Yeah. My virtual pads. Yeah.
Do you well, are you still most proficient as a drummer, do you find, or do you find you're most proficient? You've now evolved like a Trent Reznor, you're a jack of all trades.
Um, Foo Fighters. Him.
No, 9 Inch Nails, 9 Inch Nails.
No, I know, but I'm more like
Oh, Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl.
Got it.
Dave Grohl. Yeah, I like to think that, right? Drummer, singer, guitar player. I'm professional in both. So definitely a drummer by birth. I was playing that when I was a kid. I played guitar very early too, but didn't start doing it professionally until I was in my late 20s. First 10 years, 12 years of my little career, I was the drummer.
Now,
So
Councillor
I'm
Yamada and
pretty
I had a
proficient.
very in-depth conversation about karaoke songs.
He knows me.
Sing. Right, of course. Everyone, again, Robbie, everyone knows you. What do you enjoy singing, or like if someone's like, "Oh, sing a song," you're just like, "Oh, it's work." Is it work now for you, or do you enjoy?
Yeah. It's work. Yeah, it's
Okay.
definitely work. But I sing a little bit like outside of work, but we work a lot. So usually when if you're printing all day, when you get home, you don't want to keep printing. But I can sing anytime, right?
Are you gonna sing for us right now? Can you give us a ditty?
No.
Give us a ditty. That'd be amazing.
I'm on Sterling's show. I got to go on Sterling's show. There you go.
I now have a theme song. Thank you very much. I wish you said Durham Unplugged at one point, but you know what? We can work that out. Here we go. We're part 2. Take 2 and go.
Durham Unplugged. What's a rhyming word for plug?
Well, I don't know, but I need my name in there. So like Durham Unplugged with Sterling Lee.
Durham Unplugged with Sterling Lee will make you so happily.
Well, I don't like ending on an adverb, but you know, as a work in progress, we're gonna steal that.
L-Y.
It's
L-Y
actually
is
blinding.
adverb, yeah.
Blinding. I mean,
am I the first person that sang and played like on your show?
Yes. So I asked Joanne to bring her French horn and to play a ditty on her French horn. She would not.
Yes.
She didn't want to dig it out. So you are the first
She's
one.
Smart.
So thank you for making Durham Unplugged history. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, how have you been occupying your time via COVID? What have you been doing?
Well, I like to obviously connect with residents. We've been doing the motorcade, driving around hospitals and honoring the police and long-term care facilities. And also, I do the random calls. I like calling residents. We walk a lot, my wife and I, around the neighborhood, so we talk that way. But sometimes I'll just call random residents, that we met during the campaign and that we see at various events, or just people that I know, might be a little bit older or living alone. And it's great to just call and just say, hi, I'm just calling to say hello. And people seem to really appreciate that. Have a brief conversation, exchange some information, make sure they have the correct numbers and all that. But that's good.
Do you tell them do you tell them you're from Service Canada and you need their social insurance number? Please don't do that.
The first 47 seconds, I'm just telling you this. No, everything's fine.
Not a crank call. This is legit. This is, I don't want anything from you.
And then we've still been active with Zoom meetings like these,
right,
with the Ajax Pickering Board of Trade, the Pickering Village BIA, the Ajax Municipal Housing Board, obviously us guys with council. So that's still going on, and it feels empowering that we can still connect officially,
absolutely,
and discuss some, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm sure you would agree. Like, we're not completely on an isolated island, and some of it, frankly, I think is working well. Like this, not for council, But for some of the different ones, Ajax municipal housing, it kind of works. I don't think that we have to necessarily go into a bricks and mortar building, even outside of this COVID thing we're going through right now.
Yeah, I just spoke with Deputy Mayor Kevin Ash about that recently, just literally 20 minutes ago. And yeah, we were just kind of talking about what we think the changes may be post COVID, whether we as a society take this as a bit of a wake up call and start using technology as
Yeah,
opposed to sticking to our old archaic ways. You can obviously see which way I'm leaning towards of just like, yeah, let's embrace modern technology. Like I don't web
yeah,
call people anymore. If I have a chance, I'm going to Zoom people because it's more interesting. I get to see the face, get to, it's a
yeah.
full immersive experience, right?
No, so, are we going to get Kevin Nash on Durham Unplugged with Sterling Lee?
Yeah, sorry, this is a bit of a spoiler, but yes, right before your episode releases, I think it should be on Thursday. You'll be coming out next Monday, Tuesday. But yes, Chris Leahy's coming out tomorrow, and tomorrow
Yeah.
when we film this, and then it's Kevin Ash, you,
Oh, that's
and
great.
then trying to get Mark Holland. That guy's a hard guy to get a hold of.
Just gonna say, can you
You
get
know,
anyway? Maybe this is your business, but yeah, MPP Rod Phillips and MP Mark Holland would be.
those
Yeah,
guys are pretty busy, so they have pretty legitimate reasons
they are.
not to do this show right now.
Yeah, they are.
But that Mark
I've
Holland
heard that
guy,
they're
I feel
busy.
he owes me a favor or two at this point. So
Yes.
I'll
Yeah.
put the pressure on him.
No,
So
no.
Robbie, what do you do in your spare time? So like, it seems like you're on an average day between politics, family, and work. You're
Yeah,
pretty busy. But what do you do when you're
I
not?
am. Oh, what TV and movies. And it's the first time in history of my life that my shop downstairs, which is pretty impressive. My dad built it with me years ago. I have a lot of tools, and my garage have both been cleaned at the same
Nice.
time. It's never happened.
There's no
So there's
excuse not
that.
to, right? There's no excuse not to anymore.
No, no, and a lot of we replaced some lighting around the house and a lot of cleaning up. But on that note, it's good, like getting ready for spring and also. But I do a lot of work in the office in regards to research and development for learning new songs and that. So there's a bit of a it's always sort of lingering there. There's things to be done, but in our spare time, yeah, we're watching a lot of movies.
Now
And I got the
hold on.
gift.
First,
Yeah,
hold on before we even get there. You mentioned you're
yeah.
doing R&D on like trying to. What song are you learning right now?
Oh, anything that'll fill the dance floor. We have a visitor. We have a
Oh,
visitor.
we have a guest. Hi, who's this?
It's Bridget.
Hi, Bridget. How are you?
Yes.
Obviously I know who Bridget is, but for people who are watching,
Yeah, but they don't know. It's my daughter. It's my daughter, Bridget. Yes, right here.
how
And
old is Bridget right now?
So you're 15 years old.
Grade 10.
Grade 10.
Grade 10.
I'm on these fancy things, so you can't.
Oh, and he just disconnected. So we're gonna pause because Rob Tyler Morin did not know that tapping the AirPods would hang up. I'm gonna pause this. We'll get him right back, folks. And we're back. A very rare break in between recordings,
Yes.
in the midst of recordings. We have Rob Tyler Morin and his daughter, Brittany. Brittany, how are you?
Bridget.
Bridget, excuse me. Bridget.
Bridge.
I fumbled that.
Bridge.
We'll edit that.
Bridget.
Bridget's in
Yes.
grade 10.
And yes, she's in grade 10. And I was just going to mention her because she's doing some courses online. Just loving them, right? Exactly.
Ask
and one of them
Bridget.
is World War II.
I was going to ask, what is her
History.
favorite course right now that she's doing through e-learning?
What's your favorite course right now?
I like English.
She likes English.
What is she reading in English?
She watched what movie?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
To Kill a Mockingbird. She
By
had to
Harper
watch-
Lee. It's one of my favorite books.
Yes, one of his favorite books. But more importantly, I wrote it down. We watched World War II in colors. She was actually asked by her prof to watch World War II. She goes, Dad, will you watch it? So Lisa did one of those, stood up, left the room. And
Right. How
Bridget
long?
and I don't
How
find
long
it.
was it? How long was
So
the
the
movie?
first episode, it's on the,
Like an introduction. Of
it's about an hour and a half, and there's like 8 episodes. But we just have to watch the first one, and I was hanging on everything and over. Yeah, it was good. I was
Is it by the
talking
guy
when
who
guy
does
in TV
all
was
the
talking.
documentaries? What's his name? Ken Burns?
Ken Burns? No,
Yeah,
that's
no.
called The War. That's an actually great documentary on World War II called The War. Anyway, you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Good seeing you, Bridget.
She says she's going back to school.
Yeah, she has to.
Wow, there's a 2020 virtual comment. Yeah.
So one
Yes.
thing that was shocking about you that I did not know until you started serving council, you were quite the student of history now. You seem to have a good memory for
Yeah,
Canadian dates and names and terms.
yeah, I am. Yeah, and I just watched. Again, I wrote it down. So, Breaking Point on YouTube. We have Apple TV, and I have. We watch YouTube. You forget you're on YouTube. It's like broadcast quality. And I had stumbled on Breaking Point. Again, stick with me. I don't know if this is for everyone, but it's about the 1995 referendum. And at the time, with Quebec, and at the time, I watched that special. It came out, I think, in 2005. It was about the 1995. So I watched it again. It's so well done as far as a documentary. And in the subject, because my family's from Quebec, I was hanging on every word and how it all transpired. But just so dramatic. I mean, it was tight. But
You
yeah,
understand you live in the golden age of television, right? Breaking Bad, The
everything's on TV.
Wire, Sopranos, but this is what you choose to
Breaking, yeah.
watch? You choose to go back
Buddy,
to school?
I just love it. But no, I wrote it all down.
By the
So we
way,
watched.
what do you? Sorry, what do you keep checking? What is this? What is this piece of paper?
I made these are called. I got to show you this. These are called my Sterling notes.
Why did you
Sterling
create
notes.
Sterling notes?
So I wanted to make sure because I wanted to tell you things.
Did you really
So
think
I know
I'm
it's
this?
supposed
Did you really think I'm this boring? You had to have notes to carry the conversation.
No, but wait. I watched Waco on Netflix. Have you seen
Okay.
that?
No, I haven't. Is it good?
But it was good, really good. But it's historic as well.
Right.
I'm about the Branch Davidian, David Koresh. We watched American Idol, Bar Rescue, and Judge Judy.
No, you don't watch Judge Judy. Get out of here.
Yes.
How can you watch
Yes.
that?
Okay, so here's what I do. This is insight. I put on my headphones because I have
Right.
wireless headphones when I'm listening, and I can cook and everything. You don't have to look at the TV because it's all dialogue, right? And she chews people out. It's great.
And you enjoy that.
Yes.
I think she's like one of the most wealthiest celebrities
Yes.
on TV right now. I think she makes like
Yeah.
40 mil a year.
Yeah. A year. Yeah.
But isn't she
Does well.
retiring too, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, she's doing a new show called Judy Judge or something. They just flipped it around.
Right. Way to branch out, Judge Judy. really
Judy Justice. Judy Justice.
Why? I guess it's on
Judy
another
Justice. Network
or something, or
I don't know. They're repackaging. She got $1 billion for the other shows. I don't know what happened. I don't know. It's not relevant.
If anybody wants to offer me $1 billion for this show, sold.
$500 million.
I'll take a Twix bar at this point, but that's just because I'm hungry.
And we like American Idol.
And but it's not on the air anymore, is it?
Yes. What are you talking about?
I thought they stopped American Idol.
No, they're doing well. They did, and then it's back. It's been back for 3 seasons.
Who are the judges now?
A girl named Katy Perry.
Never heard of her.
Lionel Richie.
No clue.
And Luke Bryan, country star Luke Bryan, country girl.
Who's the mean one now? Would it be Lionel Richie?
No. There's not a lot of that. I know that on Stern's show, who I listen to often, mostly every day, Howard Stern, when he talks about when he was on America's Got Talent, the producers don't really want that Simon thing. It's more about everybody gets a trophy these days. But there's not a lot of negativity. There's a little bit of it.
Right.
Yeah, but I always think I could be a judge.
And do you criticize the singing? Are you just like, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that?
Yes, absolutely, I do. Also, they all sing better than me, but the last 20 are really strong.
So if there's ever an Ajax Idol, you should be one of the judges.
Yeah.
Why don't we start this, Robbie? You and I, let's start this project. I'll be the comic relief judge. You be the actual knows what he's talking about judge. We just need a third judge.
Yeah, we need a nice, yeah.
Well, I'm telling you right now, folks, we're doing Ajax Idol, so please send submissions to.
I don't like contests because, I like the production of the show. It's well done, but at the end of the day, you want to make sure people know that, that they're all good, right? Everybody sings well. It's just that it's a popularity contest because it's voting by the American people.
Or by the 80 families they get to vote multiple times, right?
Yeah, there's millions of votes, so I'm not sure how that goes. But back to me.
Of course.
I'm also reading, and I'll tell you what I'm reading. I'm reading a book that was suggested by our friend Mark Holland during their town hall with MPP Rod Phillips, which was good. just not too long, a couple of weeks back or a few days back, and it was the President's Club that Mark Holland had suggested. So right away, boom, I Googled it, and I got it on Audible, my voice book, or what do they call them? Yeah, those
Audiobooks.
and
They're called audiobooks.
audiobooks, voice books, and it's great. It's fascinating for me to
Did they get a
read.
celebrity?
It's all about,
Did they get a celebrity reader? Is it Gilbert Gottfried?
right. Gilbert Gottfried. Did you just say that?
That would be a
That's
horrible audiobook.
Great reference.
That would
I
be
got
the
jokes
worst.
that we. Oh, I have to tell you jokes about Gilbert. I love Gilbert Gottfried. What can I put in this hand
No, more nasally.
to
You got to go
convince
more
you?
nasally. More nasally.
I know I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. I could do it if I was driving and nobody was looking.
And
He's amazing.
is the book good so far, or like you're halfway through?
It's really good. It's a relationship between the presidents and what you wouldn't think, like how they sort of lean on each other, even though ideologically very different. The Clintons and the Bushes, and Reagan talking to Carter, and it's really interesting. And they talk about the letter that's left on the White House desk, the Oval Office desk, for the new president. And touching stuff, like when Bill Clinton said that when he was in the race against George W. Bush, I believe, the father, no, George Bush Sr.
Right, senior.
And it was contentious, of course. And he said, on the letter, I'm a sucker for this stuff. It said the first line said, "You're my president now." I want you to do as well as you can possibly do because you're my president. And he goes, just days before they were doing this. So it's amazing. You can really move a mountain. And Mark, he just mentioned it, but I did let him know that I was reading it. And really enjoyed it.
What do you think 45's letter is going to be like?
45 is a different duck. Yeah. It's I was going to touch on that. I don't know if he'll be part of the President's Club. He doesn't seem to be that, not really into that kind of stuff. He said he was going to be when he was sitting there with 44, Barack
Right.
Obama, in that yellow, remember there was yellow colors all around them. It was the day after. Everybody was going, oh my God. And everybody was, and he was on that day. He said, "There's a lot of stuff that's been, a lot of good stuff that's been done here. We're going to use some." But he's his own man for sure.
Strange times we live in, Robbie. Strange times. Now,
Strange
very
times.
briefly, because we're almost at time. Like I told you, this stuff flies by. I told you. But tell me, you've been married to Lisa for how long? Lisa's your beautiful wife.
Yes, thanks for mentioning Lisa. Yeah, Lisa's great. We've been married since high school. We got together in high school. We weren't married in high school, but we've been married over 30 years, 31 years this year, 32 years. Very, very proud of that. And Lisa's great. She's an intensive care nurse, has been on the front lines, if you will, in critical care for 31 years. Doing well. Fought SARS. Lisa had patient zero back in 2003 for the SARS epidemic. Got through that, and then now through COVID-19, doing well. Took a little bit of time off, but at the very beginning, it was she was solemn, coming home.
Of course.
It was and I hadn't seen her that way because normally she has a pretty good swagger. She's very confident, does well. With a big city intensive care unit. But she was pretty tough. But I think things from their perspective are starting to level off a little bit. They're learning how to deal with it. But it's a pretty intense job. But she's retiring soonish.
What was your first date with your wife? Do you remember that far back?
Well, she was a very pretty cheerleader, and I was the guy in the band.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, for me maybe. But it's good because the jocks peak early, right? And then sometimes you catch up to the jocks. So the cheerleader, the jock. But we've been together since we were kids, really. We moved out, we were just kids. And sort of.
So this is your way of saying you don't remember your first date.
My first date?
Yes.
Well, I mean, geez, we're just kids. Like we were like 17.
You guys go for a move?
16.
Hands? You guys go to the soda shop? Share a milkshake? One milkshake, two straws?
I'm trying to think if there's a.
Like I said, you don't remember, Robbie.
I remember the first time she came to my house. I remember that.
Whoa,
I remember
this
even
is a PG podcast. Let's remind people of that.
No. I was gonna say, I remember even what my mother cooked. And we always say it's macaroni, like the elbow with a little bit of tomato and hamburger, like that. The thing you whip up, homemade, of course, and some French bread. And she remembers that. We still refer to that if we ever make it. She made it a long time, but yeah. So that's kind of our first date.
That's super sweet.
At the house.
Well,
Yeah.
what I'll do is I'll actually bring both of you back, and she can kind of give us her experiences on the front lines, and what we should be doing, we should be doing post COVID, or at least post the first wave of COVID. So we'll bring you both back next time and have a conversation with both of you, because I think I've been in the presence with you when she's around, and it's a completely different Rob Tyler Morin.
Is it really?
Yeah, sometimes it can be.
Interesting. Yes. That's interesting. Well, she's a strong person, and
that's why you married her. That's why you married her.
Yeah. So if she's in the room, it's like go for it, because I've already blabbed myself out of this conversation kind of thing. So
now, is there a restaurant or a nonprofit you would like to plug? Which we'll put.
Yes. So yes, I'm doing.
Check the Sterling notes.
So TSA Hope. Yeah, the Sterling Notes, the Salvation Army Ajax and Pickering, helping vulnerable people in our community. But these, so it is TSA Hope, the Salvation Army Ajax and Pickering. Jason and Tammy Sabrin, they do a great job there. And James Dark also is involved, and James knows me. Actually, there's a family connection with Jason and I. It's too remote to even mention, but I did mention. Ruth Sinnott. There's so many of these organizations, nonprofits that help vulnerable people in our society, in our community right here in Ajax. But, on a day that we not so much forget about it, but now we've moved on, we're doing banking, we're doing counseling. They're still doing it every single day. And I remember going there, we dropped off some food. We have the Two for the Show, Durham Regional Police toy and food drive. We do it every year. And all we do is facilitate it. It's all the people that come out and see the shows. They give us thousands of dollars of toys. We just deliver it and get the picture. It's about that. But when you get there, and they were talking about Christmas Day, these guys were talking about Christmas Day and saying how busy they're going to be Christmas morning. And I was thinking, wow, like this is 365 days a year. Huge shout out to them. I know there's a lot of other great nonprofits in Ajax, but you asked me to name one, and that's the one, TSA Hope, the Salvation Army Ajax Pickering.
Cool. Any restaurants you can give a plug to?
We love McGuire's.
We
love,
And they've opened up curbside, right? I think McGuire's recently added their restaurant to that.
Yeah, we love What a Bagel. They're great over there. They've really worked hard during, it's in work too, as you know. They've really worked hard, really cleaning well and making you feel comfortable going there. They've done a great job. And that's probably going to bleed into the future. And O'Dine's, we love O'Dine's. It's good.
O'Dine's?
Yeah, Sushi TNT. Yeah,
it's Dynamite.
Of course, Sushi TNT, no?
Yeah, I always say
Dynamite.
Yeah, I think it's our mayor's favorite sushi place, and
it is.
It's this dumb joke that I always do for myself, where anytime someone says sushi TNT, I'll either say under my breath, "It's Dynamite," and then no one understands what I'm talking about.
JJ Walker, Good Times is that? Yeah.
Yes.
It is Dynamite and Pizza Nova. Those guys are great. Jason.
That's your favorite pizza? Is Pizza Nova?
Well, yeah. There's.
We have Pino's. We have Auntie's Recipe. We have all these. Pizza Nova's your favorite?
I love them. Yeah,
you know what?
We love Pizza Nova.
You know what I love about Pizza Nova is their garlic bread with cheese. It's really basic, but they have the best garlic bread with cheese, and their secret ingredient is more butter, more garlic, more cheese, and that's always a winning combination for me.
What's wrong with that? That's great. Well, Jason and his team over there, they do a great job. We like them.
But you've lost. Sorry, I know we were supposed to be wrapping up, but you've lost weight, Robbie, haven't you?
So here's my theory on that. Thank you. I lost about 5 pounds.
Yeah.
I gotta lose more. However, when we're working, we're on the road a lot, and
we we're in high school.
A lot of community stuff. Yeah, a lot of you're out in the community and you can't get home for dinner, so you're grabbing subs, which are great, burgers and wings. So by staying home, you have a little bit of boneless chicken, some carrots, and then you go have a tea and watch TV. Like you're just eating a little bit lighter. But yeah, I could lose a bit more.
So you're eating chicken, vegetables, and tea. You're eating like a European mouse.
Like a European mouse.
You know those stories with a European mouse?
Let me say something. I was
Please.
listening to Howard Stern yesterday. He had David Letterman on, who's really freaky looking now. And David Letterman made a good point. He said, we're just living like we're supposed to be living. He goes, I had guys that would shush the room when I walked in the room. Like, he said, I had guys that would reheat my tea if it wasn't a certain, he goes, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because now I'm vacuuming. He goes, I've never felt better. He goes, and of course we can't really relate to that. But he goes, this is how we're supposed to be living, not that other stupid stuff that we do. Obviously, for those guys, it's much more polarized. But even us, like the fact that we're staying home and cooking.
I'm just not losing weight, man. I think every pound you've lost, I've gained. So please stop, because I got to start getting my crap together. But
you always look good.
Where can people find you online, Mike? Rob.
Yes, the big three, right? Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook, I'm Councillor Rob Tyler Morin. On Instagram, I'm at Councillor Rob Tyler Morin. COUNICLLOR. Councillor.
No, you spelled it wrong.
It's not. I did spell it wrong.
Yeah, you put the I
How do
in
you
there.
spell it?
COUNCILLOR.
Right, but it's not counsel like with an S, because that's like if you're a lawyer.
Right.
And the Twitter is again CLLR. Tyler Morin.
Great.
Yeah,
and you can find me at Your Voice for Ajax, number 4 for the word 4. And Rob, this was painless.
I know. I don't know why you thought it wouldn't work.
How dare you? How dare you? I have the text messages that prove it. But well, like I said, next time we get you back on, I would love to have Lisa on as well and get the Rob and Lisa show and get some nurses' perspectives on post opening.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, she's got great perspective, frontline, and I don't really dive in too much into what she does at work. So yeah, she's got great perspective.
Great. Well, thank you again for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and yes, thank you again, Rob Tyler Morin, for joining us. We will see you next time.
Thank you for having me.
Durham Unplugged. Sorry.